How's it going, guys?
Hello,
Welcome
guys.
to episode 28, I think,
what
on
episode
Target
is?
Talks. I think so.
It's terrifying.
Speaking of terrifying, today's topic is what's too real.
Yes. So this is part of our
too spooky.
Yeah. What is too spooky for the rest of society and just in general? So this is our two-part kind of like safety podcast show thing that we're doing, stream thing. And so today we're going to be talking about what is too real. Like, what do you guys? And I want to hear your opinions.
Like, where's the line? Stuff like that.
Yes, like where do you think the line is drawn? Where like you look at something, you're like, that shouldn't be in the hands of a civilian.
Or like a 12-year-old more than
or a 12. Yeah, like what shouldn't be? Like what is like a good one would be like, what don't you have to be 18 to buy? That you absolutely should be 18 to buy.
Right.
Everything.
So
There's a reason that you have to be 18 to buy an airsoft gun.
Right. So I do want to apologize for not having a cast last week. Unfortunately, scheduling conflicts and stuff like that. It
I was
just
on the
wasn't going to
beach.
work. Yeah, he was lying on the beach
I was
being
on the
lazy.
beach.
And before I get into it, actually, I'll probably bring this up later in the stream too, but if you played this weekend, let me know what you thought of the new sound effects we added this last week. So the train station now has a train whistle and like train goes by and all that kind of stuff sound-wise. And oh, sorry about the fan.
Just turning the fan down.
And on top of that, if you played this weekend on Saturday or Sunday, you'll have noticed that there was random battle sounds playing on the field over the music and between the respawn tones. Let me know if you were there for it. Let me know what you thought. But before we get into the topic, I'm going to let James and Dan here talk about our 8-year anniversary coming up at the end of this month.
Yes. So I have no new information for you, and the reason for that is I don't know what it is.
But Dan, on the other hand,
I can tell you about stuff. Alright, so August 8th. No, it's our 8-year event in August 26th.
By the way, guys, tomorrow, biggest event.
Biggest event, it's tomorrow. Collate calendars, you gotta be here, it's gonna be huge. So, August 26th. It's our big, crazy 8 event. The whole shebang, we're going big. We have a lot of people coming out.
Make sure that you guys come on Friday night too.
Okay, so we'll talk about some of the people you may or may not know we have coming. We got Jet, the Desert Fox, your fan fave, you know. You have Leah, you have P90 Girl, you have Bobby Wolves, who I didn't know, but then I looked him up on YouTube, and he does some cool,
we got a lot of
cool division gameplay. It's kind of neat, like a lot of the stuff he uses is pretty cool. And then we have a gentleman, Tim, who's a Hop-Up ambassador. So Hop-Up is going to also be actually at our at the Crazy 8 event.
Oh, so they're going to set up their thing. I saw you mention that wasn't like the date.
Yeah,
until
I just said I was like we haven't had any other companies I think confirmed. So, but Friday night the 25th.
what companies are confirmed?
Well, companies are confirmed. You got G&G, you got Vulcan, you have Elite Force Sumerex, you have Polar Star, you have Isaiah, you have Extreme Airsoft. Extreme Airsoft is going to be there.
Baby.
We said Tipman is going to be there.
Just
Who
the
else
tip man.
is
V-Star, right?
Polar,
Yep,
the
Fuse
Polar
Star
Star.
showing up.
That should be their company name.
Fuse
Star would be fun.
Yeah, actually, we're going to be stocking up deep of their new regulators too.
Or
Be
those
crazy.
things are nice.
Yeah, they are nice. I just wish they would have that CO2 stock. Like 800,
Let's see, what else? What did I want to say? Hop-Up will be out there on table. Airsoft C3, they're going to be here. They're going to have a table. So if you didn't know, they did their whole underground thing, which looked really cool. They posted, if you don't follow them, Airsoft C3, they're kind of like a resource so you can find like fields in your area. And
actually a very good resource.
Yeah,
too.
you can find fields in stores. Like you go online, you're like, you pick what part of the country you're in or whatever, and you're like, oh, cool. So it's super awesome. It's a great resource. But they're also doing like themed games, like super cool, intense themed games. Like I saw some of the photos from a Game Pod in Cali, so that looks sick. But they're gonna be here. It's just gonna be big.
They post events and stuff too on there, I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah, they do. They'll do events as well. So, but then you have the 26th. So, pre-register, please. We have it right here. You can see here, down there in the corner. There. Usually it's just automatic. So, what you have to do Just use PayPal, quick. Pay $35 if you're non-rental, $55 if you are rental. You reserve your spot. You save $5, so it'll be $40. Yes. You'll save $5 when you pre-register, but you also get to skip the line, which is inevitably long. I have had more than several people tell me that they're going to be camping out either the night before, or they're going to be there really early, like 5 o'clock in the morning the day of. So you're going to want to skip that line. The line can
there's
take.
people who like camp in the parking lot.
Yeah,
cool.
people will sleep in their cars.
Yeah, it is
People
really cool,
sleep in
yeah.
their cars, which is kind of crazy that people. I don't know.
Like I roll up like with my Dunkin' Donuts coffee, I'm like, you guys are here all night? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, you're awesome. Like, awesome.
Real MVPs. So make sure you go pre-register for that. You'll get to skip the line. It'll be long. You'll get in the sewer to play. We'll have a timeline. We'll post up the timeline of events kind of thing going on. We'll post that up this week. We have a Facebook event where if you're on Facebook,
Links are in the description on YouTube, by the way.
this way, down, here, down, there, this way. So to the down.
At least down is always down. Yeah.
Down is always down. It's like down here in the comments. So say you're going. We want you guys to be there. It's going to be super awesome.
It is going to be great.
I'm pretty excited. It's gearing up to be a lot of
Last
fun.
week, like a ton of raffle items landed too, right?
Yeah, we had a bunch.
Yeah, a lot of pistols.
Am I at liberty to say any of them, or just we had a lot of G&G sent over a bunch of their guns.
Oh yeah, G&G sent like 3 whole guns.
Yes.
The Vulcan was
Not 3 halves?
no.
Then send like a lower and upper?
Okay, well, 3 whole gun Lakages. Like I'm pretty sure like yeah, 3 whole gun Lakages. And
Lakages?
yeah, so like I'm pretty sure 2
Is that a
of them
word?
come with the battery and charger combo.
Oh,
like,
packages.
DVDs,
Jesus
like literally
Christ.
you open the box and there's everything but a mask in there for you to run that gun.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
That's the kind of cool thing about G&G is you get the battery and the charger and BBs. It's like 1,000, and they're G&G BBs, so they're not total
It's
trash.
not shit.
It's it's not Lancer Tactical. Sorry.
But,
shots fired.
But we should probably get to today's topic.
All right, cool. We should talk about Adult Night.
What's up, David?
We'll plug that in a bit.
Okay.
My boy Fry.
Little Fry.
Always watching.
Right?
Always watching.
Always watching like Wazowski.
Please watch.
No, so like we said, today's topic is about where's that line where, first of all, kids probably shouldn't, below the age of 16 or 18 maybe, probably shouldn't be having certain things just to risk airsoft in its own right.
Sure.
Yes.
Everything.
And where do things start to get maybe just a little too real in general? As much as we love it, this kind of pertains to the topic a couple weeks ago about what's too crazy or whatever we called it, the stuff that starts to get a little dangerous. I think that's where what's not safe. This starts to be similar, but what's too real.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially with the advent of for example, in Milson West, was it you can have your blank fire guns and stuff?
Yeah, blank fire guns.
Yeah. So one thing that's interesting. This is kind of off tangent on things. So the weird thing about blanks is I don't think you guys understand is you can't just load blanks into a magazine and have your gun cycle. You have to shoot it, pull it back. The reason for that is your bolt cycles because of the back pressure of the bullet, of the bullet in the cartridge. Yeah, and so so for this grenade that I got that fires blank cartridges, I got a bunch of 9mm blanks. Sadly, they're the wrong size, so I threw it into my pistol and shot it. And I was really upset when it didn't cycle it, and I'm like, oh, that's sad. But then I did some more research. You have to get a whole kit to have 9mm because you have to get a restricted barrel that creates enough back pressure for the explosion to cycle a pistol, which is still cool. But go to Milson West and you have a cycling semi-auto pistol, then you kind of baller.
It is, but returning to the whole topic at hand.
I know.
Is that?
Yeah, 16-year-old.
Well, Milson West, are they 18 and over? There's no 16-year-olds.
Blank fire you'd be 21.
Oh, well, blank fire, but in
yeah,
general,
in
to
general,
play.
it'd be 18 or over.
Okay, to play 18 or over, right? Milson West is pretty crazy. I don't want to get shot when you're
Your
sleeping.
boy Josh Warren. I mean, the dude's
Memes
cool.
are great.
His memes are great, but he's like just like so like egotistic. But that's not what we're talking about. I mean, if you're friends with him on Facebook, you just see the stuff he posts. He's always just like, yeah, like my shit's the shit. I mean, his games do look cool. I've never been to one, but
They look pretty badass.
you see posts from the dude, and you're like,
All right, moving on.
what's up?
But like, you know, what are some examples of you like, you know, stuff lately like we were talking about has just gotten crazy realistic.
Do you want to grab my grenade? I know we talked about it last week.
It's
but,
really
yeah.
like the third.
I guess that's not.
I know, no, but it's still a good time to use it because like we used it last week for being unsafe, and we'll talk about it now for things that are too real or things that probably shouldn't be purchased by 16-year-olds.
Yeah, well, yeah, I've even told you that I think if you got pulled over with that, you'd have to explain a lot.
Yeah, so yeah, and the thing is, the person that I bought this off of was well under 16. I think he is 16,
I think he is 16.
but he's had it for 2 years.
What?
And you can buy the blank cartridges for this just by going online and clicking a box that says I am 18 and not lying about 18.
And the best part is, it strikes the firing, it strikes the hammer on a bullet.
Yes, no, it literally is a firing pin on a bullet.
Like, in all essence, it is a gun.
For people that can't see it, I'll put it right up here. So it's an
repurposed.
impact grenade. So in essence, it is basically a firearm.
Yeah,
But
or
you
it
can
could be
purchase it.
repurposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, you could drill it out and do some very illegal
You
things
would
with
not
it. But
have
let's
to modify it.
But let's not talk about how to modify this to make it lethal.
Just like first rule airsoft, you don't talk about silencers.
Yeah.
Second rule, don't talk about these.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of things that shouldn't be done. Right. So that's really real. Like you guys heard it. I threw a 12 gauge, so I got 12 gauge blanks for that. It can take 12 gauge blanks. And I threw one today inside, and it's about 4 times louder than the original number 209 primers that it comes with.
I would say it's still not that much. It's a higher peak, but it's not that much louder than like the Thunder Big.
Yeah, no, it's not that much louder, but I feel like you feel it. Like it's.
Well, like I said, that's why I said like the pressure wave is higher.
Yeah.
Which I guess technically.
Like imagine like being in like a really confined room and someone throwing that thing. I just knocked that.
God, that'd be
And
bad.
like it would just be like that's a bit like.
Bit much.
That's sold as a SWAT training device.
Well, not only that is you throw that over an asshole throws that over the wall. You give someone brain damage. This thing weighs like 2 pounds and it's solid metal.
Yeah, no, most games, if you throw those overhand, you'll get kicked out.
Right.
You're supposed to underhand.
Yeah, but I can still underhand this over a wall.
I just hope
it
that
just
he just
needs
picks
more
it up.
height to go.
Back some kid in the head.
There's a hole.
Yeah, it bounce off the skull.
You're so thick-headed, it'd be fine.
Yeah, right.
Got him.
Actually, real quick on Facebook, Tyler J asked, "What are the best BBs to be used with a DMR?"
See, I have definitely one answer there for you, and that is if you're going for, okay, 2 answers. Yes, definitely 12. No,
You're
so-
not using 12, so don't talk to me.
If you want to sit at that 400 FPS range, measured with a .25, no questions asked, pellets to use are the .29 gram Maruzen Super Grandmasters. They are very pricey though, and there's no question about that.
What is it? Oh, I don't know. Maybe
It's like
a
20
nickel.
yeah,
No,
it's
it's
about
a nickel a shot. It's a nickel a shot.
So what I've been shooting more often lately have been the what do you call it?
G&Gs?
The G&G PSBP pellets. Those ones are really, really good.
Nice.
Amazing actually, especially for their price point. Really well polished. As much as I like Elite Force, I'm actually not the biggest fan of their pellets. I'll be completely honest. I find their
Elite
hop
makes
is
a good pellet. It's just a good BB.
yeah, but they don't make the
Like a
best.
rifle.
They don't
Yeah,
make the
they
best.
don't
I find
make
that
the
the
best,
hop
yes.
is not as
This is
consistent
true.
on an Elite Force pellet as it is on some other ones. There's almost too much polish on the Elite Force pellet. But either way, and then what I actually just tried out the other day, for the first time, I haven't run a game yet, so I can't give these ones a full support yet. I'll let you know after on Justice. Is those ASG white .4s.
Ooh, those ones
actually
are.
shot really well, and they're the
Actually,
only
for the
white
product-
heavyweight pellet.
For the product spotlight, I'm going to show you a rifle that is bred to use those.
Mhm.
That is bred to use
Those
those.
point.
BBs.
I mean, they're so.
And they're white.
There's
They're white. Actually, James would say they're gray.
Yes, they are a little bit darker then you're.
Jane probably wouldn't buy them; they'd be too gray.
Yeah, well, the thing is, if you sell it as white and it shows up and it says gray, I'm gonna be mad. That's a very old joke.
So if the viewers want to know the funny story behind this, let me know and I'll tell it in a moment.
Yeah,
but
let's not tell that story.
Yeah, no, it's a good story. Returning back to what we were saying though about the like what's too real and all that kind of stuff is I totally lost my train of thought. No, as
what's too real is Dez's memory issues.
What do you think about like what do you think about with the whole like how you can't import WE or VFC gas blowback M4s?
So is there a reason behind that?
There is. You can drop a real steel trigger group into them and they work.
And so here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing. So here's the thing. You're talking about too real. So there is this thing.
The barrels and everything. Everything else.
No. You put a real steel upper receiver onto your airsoft lower and it will shoot.
So that's the thing. So this is I'm gonna get all technical on y'all asses real fast.
So the kid that came in, like the VFC Scar, probably has some of the nicest kick on a gas blowback.
Well, no, the Scar's fine. It's just the M4s.
Oh, really?
The 417 too?
So,
that's the kid here that had that here too.
Yes.
The 417. But we can't seem to get.
James has something to say.
I'm about to get real technical real fast with this.
Make
so, yeah, I'm going to make it quick.
fast.
No, so this is absolutely on target. So I'm going to take my time with this one because there is a little bit of content to cover.
Your intros are usually longer than the actual thing you're talking about.
Yeah, usually. I mean, that's all good. People just love my face and my voice, I hope. So, anyways, so here's the deal, and I'll start it off with a story about Z-Shot. This almost put one of our distributors out of business. They had a bunch of PTWs coming in to the United States that they were going to sell. It was a huge shipment. It was like, I think like 15 PTWs and only 15 guns, but these are $1,000 guns. It was easily over 10 grand worth of product.
They're not $1,000 guns. They're like
several
$1,000 guns.
Well, no, they were just the regular PTWs, the regular Sistemas.
Oh, so they're not.
So they weren't the American one, and this is the reason actually why the American PTW was born. And so when like kind of like what Des was saying about the lower receiver. So the United States classifies your lower receiver as the gun. I could buy a lower receiver and be like, look, I'm a gun owner, even though clearly it won't shoot a gun. So
I mean, you did do that, just to be clear.
I did do that for a very long time until I built it. But anyways, so the thing with that is the ATF, if they are able to modify your airsoft gun to actually fire a bullet, then they will not allow you to import it to the United States. So the thing is, Sistema, being the ultra high quality, product and company that they are, so those guys came over and the ATF took one and they tested it, and they really do quite a bit of modifications in order for it to
be
fire.
fair, the original ones, all you had to do was take that lower, drill 3 holes, drop a real steel trigger group into it, and throw it on an actual upper. To be fair, the modification actually wasn't that much, because again, the ATF classifies just the lower as the gun, so they can take that, just the lower, and modify it slightly. And
but there's not a lot of force going on in the lower too,
right,
so it doesn't have to be like insanely high quality.
And the worst part is, if I remember correctly, they were able to get to fire like full auto, and that's even worse.
And so what I'm getting at with the ATF is you look at all these other guns like gas blowback AKs, like the E&Ls. Those should absolutely be illegal. Like if we're talking like to be fair, but one thing.
E&L, the gas blowback AK.
Yeah, and so I think I was talking with Wallace from Z-Shot. So actually, to finish up the Z-Shot story, the ATF determined that they were too close to a real firearm, and they seized and melted like 15 to 20 PTWs.
Whoa!
Like that was a big hit. That was a big hit for the company. And that's because the ATF considered it too real. And I remember I was talking with Wallace, the owner of Z-Shot, actually the last time he was down at the August event last year, or 2 years ago. But he's come every year, but 1 year I actually talked to him. And he was like, you look at like AKs and stuff like that, like with M4s, they really try their very hardest to make a bullet shoot out of an M4. They try their very hardest, but with an AK, they're like they mess a few things around. They're like, this won't work, and it's good.
Well, so
and he was really mad about it too.
To be fair, is airsoft AK bodies, and this might actually be the reason why, are about 5 to 6 millimeters longer than a real steel body. If you notice, that's why we have those AK rail things.
Yeah.
And they don't go on any of the airsoft guns.
Yeah, because they're slightly different.
Because the airsoft guns are slightly longer, which may be to prevent that kind of thing.
I didn't know that.
I mean, I'd have to like go, get out my calipers and measure every single
No,
one.
I know
against
they're
relay
about
case.
5 to 6 millimeters longer than a relay case.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was a gearbox thing or it may have been a to keep it from being ATF weird, whatever.
Yeah.
That was one benefit of the Tokaberry plastic blowers.
Yes.
They looked at them and they're like,
yeah. So Japan makes it easy for you. Yeah. So Japan, like we're talking on the international scale of what's too real. Japan.
They have a law that, though it's been modified lately, you'll notice recently Tokaberry has released full metal body guns.
Yes.
But for the longest time,
Like they're in the 70s.
right,
They're
up until about 2 or 3 years ago, they were not allowed to produce a fully metal imitation gun. Or they were not allowed to export, a fully metal imitation gun. And I do believe the law actually stems from like the end of the World War II whole thing. Like there's no weapons manufacturing allowed in Japan due to our whole thing. They're not allowed to have a military because of everything. Like that's rules that we established.
Which is why we're their military.
No, really though.
Yeah.
If Japan's attacked,
USA World Police over here.
no, but there's actually a treaty that says they are not allowed to have a military outside of what they can defend themselves with. But if they are attacked, we have to come to their aid.
That's what happens when you pick the wrong side.
But that's why China. You could argue they pick the right side. They don't have to spend money on a military.
Yeah, actually that's a very good point. Yeah.
And also, even though half their country got raised, it was like post-economic war miracle.
Yeah.
We're going to be the best at everything.
A lot of people actually, it's super off topic, one sentence, super off topic here. A lot of people argue that if it weren't for the US's thing there, China would have attacked Japan by now, because there's a lot of bad blood between the two because of the atrocities of World War II.
Yeah, true.
But China knows if they attack Japan, then we get into the war, and now it's World War III.
Yep.
And so I think China's like, yeah, no, we like selling stuff to the US, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
But either way, return to what we were saying.
Trump over here is like China.
For the longest time, Tokaberry couldn't release full metal body gun because Japan considered them.
Yes. And that's why airsoft is so big in Japan. Is because
they're not allowed to have guns.
They can't have real guns. They literally cannot have real guns. So that's why you like.
That's where it started.
There's huge competition.
And that's the thing. There's actually also a 200 FPS limit in Japan. If a gun is manufactured, same thing in Taiwan actually. If a gun is manufactured over 280 FPS, it's considered a real firearm. That's why no Japanese guns fire hotter than 280 FPS.
You can't say that about Taiwan because KOAs come from Taiwan.
Here's the thing about Taiwan. No, KSCs come from Taiwan. Their FPS limit is 400.
Whoa.
But KWAs that shoot hotter are modified in the US. The owner of G&G was actually arrested. Because you know the G&G gas L96?
Yes.
They charged it with CO2, and the pressures didn't blow up somehow. And it shot like 460 FPS, and so they arrested the owner of G&G.
I thought it was just like a copyright thing, like legality issue.
No.
It just
He got arrested because he got arrested for his company producing real firearms.
According to their law.
According to their laws, because the stupid gas blowback L96, and now that's why G&G, all their high FPS models shoot like 330 FPS.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I'm not getting arrested again.
Yeah, exactly.
They're high velocity, they're like 370, you're like...
But no, and it's not a quality thing, it's a legality thing.
Right, yeah.
You'll see that a lot of Taiwan direct guns have that issue. And that's why you have companies like Echo One who would take Chinese guns and boost up the FPS a little bit in the US, is to get around those laws. So like I know this is like legal speak fucking podcast right now, but it's actually a lot of background.
Well, the thing is like people
over the last 10
this is like airsoft.
This is like a straight knowledge dump right now.
You're getting your learnings in.
I mean, because you know, and at first I always knew that there was a lot of laws, so I educated myself from the get-go. And so I always had a very like, oh, we'll stay within the laws. But now that I've been doing this for a while, I kind of realize how much BS these laws are. It's like, this is so lame.
Well, so, and actually returning back to I want your opinion on this. I have a couple things queued up on what I want to talk about here. Is, first of all, in the UK, I believe it's the UK, I'm almost 100% confident, it's the whole, if you're under 18, you can't have a license to have an airsoft gun. You can have an airsoft gun, but it has to have a bright green colored body. And that's why a lot of, I'm sure people who are watching this have probably seen the Scout the Dog Eats videos.
Yeah.
And you notice a lot of the kids have brightly colored M4s.
Yeah.
The reason being is that's the requirement there, is if you have an airsoft gun and you don't have a quote-unquote license for it, that's okay. It needs a brightly colored body, and I believe it's similar in Canada. The nice thing about the UK is you can apply for a license, which unfortunately you have to pay for, but you know that's government, that's the UK for you.
Yeah.
And then you can have a fully, you don't even have to have an armored tip. You can have a fully realistic gun, but then it's treated like a real firearm. Has to say locked in a gun case, so on and so forth. But we advise that anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we said.
So there's the law rather than an advisement, but I'm not sure. I kind of really like that system personally.
Yeah, because then it definitely, it avoids so many problems, because then...
I know I've talked about this in other casts,
Yeah.
but what's your guys' opinion about that?
About the UK laws?
Yeah, the whole...
I'm actually educating myself right now.
So it may have changed. I know that's what it was a few years ago. So again, I could be a little bit outdated in my information, but I believe it's something
Well,
similar.
this is, I just realized, I thought it said 2017, it's actually 2007. So I'm going to actually find a different page. Let's see. No, that was cute. That was in unison.
But either way, like you have like Canada where clear body guns are required, and they have no other option. They have to use.
Yeah, some of the... I remember it was a whole thing with like Airsoft GI. They did this whole thing. They were like, yes,
Oh,
let's
in
go.
California, you have
Then
the stupid.
they were
trigger
like
guards and
Canadian
stuff.
compliant.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
that was a whole big thing. California, isn't it at point of sale? You need, or is it in general that you need like? It's like
I think it's just point of sale.
It's like I think it's a point of sale. You need it either on the grip, the.
No, it has to be like multiple areas.
Yeah, it's like
There's
two
like
levels.
5 possible places you have
And
to
it
have 3 or 2.
Yeah, so like the grip, the handguard, the bunch of stuff. Like some of that stuff.
Now,
I mean, after point of sale, after that, it doesn't. If it's point of sale, it doesn't
I'm
matter.
not sure California. I think it might be required to keep
Actually, yeah, okay, so here we go. So this might be a reiteration of what you were saying, but since October 2007, you can only buy a realistic imitation firearm, one that looks like a real gun. This is for the UK. If you are at least 18 years old and meet one of the following conditions. You are a registered airsofter with membership of an insured skirmish site. To be registered, you must attend a properly organized and insurance airsoft site and play for at least 3 days over a period of no less than 2 months.
I kind of like that.
Even if you attend and play 3 days in your first week, UK law requires that 2 months pass from the first day you attend before you can legally be registered. Or, and so this is what, that was one bullet point.
That's pretty.
Another thing, like, and so this is at least
You can
one
have
of them.
that, or yes.
Or, you are a member of a properly insured historic reenactment group or society.
LARPing.
Yep, you're a registered LARPer. You are a film, television, or theater production company. That would make sense. You are, or acting on the behalf of a museum. Interesting. Or you are a crown servant in pursuance of your crown duties.
I do love. No. It's a thing. Every law in the UK, and almost every law in the UK has a thing where like the royal family is exempt from the laws. Like almost every law in the UK is like, unless you're part of the royal family, then you can do whatever you want.
Unless you're royal and it's for your duties, you can own as many apes. That is so funny.
Oh, okay. Actually, all right, and then
Wait, and
and
is that
lastly-
in general or only if you're under 18?
Yeah, so this if you are at least 18 years old. So then, if you do not meet any of these criteria, you can still buy an imitation firearm, one whose principal color is significantly different to that of the firearm, i.e. bright green or bright blue.
So the law is exactly what that is.
Yes,
Exactly. So you know what? I'm not against that because it keeps us from having the California or Canada syndrome where all our guns have to be clear.
Yeah.
You know, and I kind of like because it keeps it out of.
It makes it like I don't know, like we tell when you in general you should treat an airsoft gun like a real firearm anyways.
Right.
So just enhancing that. So then it also makes it better for people that actually move on to like real guns. They already have all the knowledge and transportation with everything. It's like so much better, you know, when you go to an airport it makes it like a heck of a lot easier to claim an airsoft gun as a firearm.
I should say I don't want extra laws, but I prefer that over everyone having to have a clear gun. You know,
Right, yeah,
I think it's a good middle ground, and again, it keeps that super hyper realistic. You know, call it FN. What's the new one we like? The
FNS9.
The FNS9. You know, 12-year-old walks around town with that, thinking they're all cool, and gets shot.
Yeah, exactly.
And then all of a sudden you can't.
And that's the kind of, and that's primarily why we see, like, I think a lot of like airsoft under attack, and people are like, this is the main reason they're citing for this is because some kid was walking around and they got shot, and then it
keeps those kind of things out of their hands.
Exactly. So then you don't run into situations like that where. So.
Yeah, the UK is a very interesting.
Do they have a?
What's your opinion about it? Like,
what's their FPS? Do they have a specific?
They actually have a higher FPS thing than we do.
Yes, so I've found I mean, at least I've not like I've ever played airsoft in the UK or here in Europe. But yeah, like from watching videos and stuff like that, they do generally have a higher FPS limit out there.
Well, I think that has a lot to do with a lot of the people playing are over 18.
Yes. So these laws definitely make it harder to get into the old to get into the old airsoft scene, to get into this whole thing.
Right.
But once you're in it, you've unlocked like definitely a higher level of, at least from on paper, than the United States that you can just walk on, because it's a lot more easy to get into it here, but we have a lot more rules.
And I think we're airsoft used to be that kind of like backroom thing no one really talked about. It's gotten so popular lately. I'm afraid of the laws that are going to come down on it. I don't want to have guns that look like paintball markers.
Yeah,
that's half the reason you don't see many realistic paintball guns, is because they know that more laws are going to get thrown on them.
Right.
So I kind of like having
it's like a compromise. It's kind of like a compromise. It's like we're giving up a little bit of freedom, but ultimately it's going to kind of keep airsoft
alive.
Yeah, it'll keep airsoft.
Yeah, and then another interesting thing most people don't realize, and I don't advise this because we'll avoid most warranties, but though we have to legally sell a new airsoft gun with an orange tip, once you own the gun, it's completely 100% legal in Rhode Island. I cannot say for other states to remove that orange tip. However, once you do that, and actually before you do that anyway, but especially after you do that, keep the gun in a gun case. Don't just leave it in the back of your car.
Yeah.
Trust me, I have bad experience with that. Whoops. When I was stupider and younger.
Stupider.
Yep.
James was just amazed. He didn't know that this could be stupid. He was like, "That's stupid."
Well, no, it's stupider.
That's the joke. That's
Oh,
the joke.
It's like you're the stupider one now.
You're stupider now.
Who's stupider now?
Here's the joke.
I tried.
But either way, you should always treat your gun like a real gun. It doesn't need to be necessarily like a locked gun case, though. That's just a good idea so your stuff doesn't get sniped. But either way, like I said, I always treat your gun like a real gun.
Yeah,
keep
I always
it
keep it in the gun bags, in the trunk. If you ever get pulled over or anything, be like, I have airsoft guns in my car.
Yeah, that's the first thing. I've gotten pulled over once or twice. And the first thing I say is, usually officer comes up to the window, I'm like, hey, by the way, there's an imitation fire gun in the backseat. And they go, okay, and they'll open the door, they'll look at it, maybe one time they open the bag and they're like, okay, thanks for letting me know. And literally every time, it's funny because I think they almost appreciate you that level. Every time
they don't give you a ticket. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, this kid's being real polite, and I've never gotten a ticket when I've been able to be like, hey, by the way, just like.
Actually, it sounds like the better move is to always keep an airsoft gun in your car.
Not the advice.
I got out of a ticket because I played airsoft. Okay, so this was Autumn Justice like 2 or 3 years ago. What happened is I was on my way home, but I think it was my muffler, or it was my flex pipe was broken, so it was really loud. So then I had an officer pull me over right outside of UBG, not too far. I was like, gosh darn it! I know I'm gonna
I remember the story now.
I'm gonna get roasted. So then he comes over, and then he's like, oh okay. He's look. I forgot who else is in the car. I think it was Dan Mathis, who's an old kind of name, whatever, friend. But we're both camoed out, so we're looking in the. So he's looking. He's like, you guys are good? Oh yeah, we just finished a long weekend at we were playing airsoft. And he was like, oh wait, you mean like the one that's down by the Air Force Base? I was like, yeah, the one near the Air Force. It's like, oh my god, dude, we try to go there every so often, blah blah blah. It's like I wanted to go there, like my guys, some of the guys I know go there. I've been meaning to go there, blah blah blah. So then essentially he was like, all right, I'm just gonna make sure you get that fixed, but you're good to go. I was like, Airsoft, so we just talked about Airsoft a bit.
There you go.
I was like,
I've had similar experiences. Remember, this is going to be a quick divergent story, but it's a funny one. Is the Narragansett Police Department did their city mission training here a few years back, and like literally a week later, I was at a house party, and I happened to be out front, and the cop rolled up to tell everyone to shut up. And he gets out, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, we got the training last week? He's like, I knew you looked familiar. We talked about it, but he's like, yeah, it's fine now. And he just drove away.
Yeah, no, so usually like, alright, and this last thing about cops,
Yeah.
so I've gotten
I
pulled
love
over.
cops, honestly.
No, cops are the best, and cops are great. And so I've gotten pulled over,
a few times.
I've gotten pulled over 10 times for speeding in my life, and I've gotten 0 speeding tickets. Until last week. Until last week. On number and the reason for it, like I'm usually very friendly with them because people the mistake that you guys will make is you're like, oh, either you're a dick to them. That's never the way to do.
Or you're scared as hell.
Or you're scared as hell. Sometimes, I mean, when I first started driving, that worked for me. I
Much
like
like
my
once you're not 18,
yeah,
they don't care anymore. They're
like, why are you scared?
Yeah, but usually I can joke with them. Like one time I complimented a female officer on her, she had like the blue line thing across her back. I'm like, oh, that's like awesome. Like they let you wear that stuff on your gear. And she's like, hell yeah, we're cops. Show support of cops. I'm like, that's awesome. So she let me off anyways. And so I got pulled over. It's actually the first time I ever got pulled over. Same speed trap. You think I'd learn? But this guy, he was all business. Like he gave me crap for my license plate in the window. He's like, do you have the screws to mount it? I'm like, no, I put it up there last week for a car show. That was a lie. And he only gave it to me for 5 over, but he was all business. Like I tried to like make a joke out of my situation. Just nothing. Nothing. And I was like, I'm getting a ticket. This guy's gonna ticket me. He's not. But every other cop, and he was cool. I mean, he was just doing his job, whatever. I don't hate him for it.
I've got a few tickets. I've gotten a few tickets. I'm always just like, you're doing your job. That's no ill thoughts.
All right.
But continuing back to the topic.
Yeah, so I got my first ticket the other day. Number 11.
So
grenades that explode in your face. Reapers.
we actually did kind of touch on this a little bit last time, so I don't want to go too far into it.
That's still a good one though.
But it is, exactly.
Yeah.
So my concern, especially the ones that launch out a grenade launcher that explode,
exactly.
which right now technically are not legal to get.
Right.
So, but they're trying to make them legal.
You can still.
And to me, I don't know how it's not a class 3 weapon.
Yes. So
It's a launchable explosive.
Yes. So if you, if you want to get the full shindig of about why the legality whole thing, you can watch the last episode, 27, where I went in depth about the actual legal reason and the legality of this.
Yeah.
That's one thing I now have a very good knowledge of being in the industry is the legality is super lame stuff. But anyways, so it's not illegal to own. It's just illegal to transport them. So if you do have them, don't worry about getting arrested for them. But if your package gets intercepted, there might be an issue. But I wouldn't be too concerned. But
You're just out of however much you need to spend.
Yeah, you'd probably just be out. They'd probably just confiscate it and then send you a notice that you were doing a illegal thing. Yeah, that you suck. Yeah, and they wouldn't go after you for something like that.
But I wouldn't. Just to be clear, if that happens, don't just go order it again.
Yes,
Because if it happens twice, then you might have some issues.
Yeah, you're probably on like a list. So.
Like check every package that comes in.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah. Shake the package. North American down here. Big boom.
But continue.
But yeah, it's so these are the Reaper grenades. They are launched from your actual like from the tagging. So this is the tagging process. They launch from the tagging CO2 or green gas launchable thing, and then I do believe it's on a timer. But if it impacts it, it will explode upon impact. So there's actually a video that they posted where there was actually a guy. This is in some European country where they allow you to shoot these things in CQB environments. And what this guy was, yeah, so he had a pistol. He had a pistol and a riot shield, and he was moving into a building. Someone inside the building was choked up in a corner with a Reaper,
He shot it at the guy. His hand was coming in the corner, so it didn't even hit the riot shield. It hit his hand and exploded on his hand. And the camera point of view is from the guy, the next in line in the stack. So you just have this view of this thing is coming out, literally a fire.
Oh yeah, he was just like this.
Yeah, and he walked away. He's like, I'm done for the day. But it turned out, the guy. Yeah, if you actually look at the video, the actual guy commented. He's like, yeah, my fingers were a little bit numb, but I was wearing gloves. No issue with it at all. Nothing broken. But like,
I got numb hands from getting shot by
you show a parent that video of like.
They'll never let their kid play Airsoft ever. You will never play Airsoft.
So this is like super real.
Hey, Mom, have you seen how realistic this is? They're using blank fire, real firearms. They're gonna be like.
Well, that's what I'm saying is trying to convince a parent to let their 14-year-old play, and they're like, oh yeah, look at this video, and some guy comes around a corner firing blank fires, and somebody else fires a lawful explosive, and you're like, that's so cool. The parents are looking there like, I'm not sending Jimmy into that.
That's because kids are like, it's like Call of Duty, and the parents are like, this is just like Call of Duty. It's horrifying. It's two different perspectives. Like the kids are like, oh no, it's not a big deal, but parents are like,
yeah.
I paid
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like, and that's actually one thing, and I realize that this whole podcast is basically legality, because legality is really
that's what we're talking about.
real.
Yeah.
And so Jet and all those other online YouTubers, the deal, it's just like any other celebrity appearance now, is you have to pay for them to show up to your venue. I'm not going to get too deep into this.
Yeah.
But beforehand, they used to just show up and they make a video, and they were able to make money off of whatever ad revenue they made.
Oh, okay.
But and you can actually, this is well documented. It's all public. They call it the adpocalypse. And YouTube, and for the airsofters, they call it the apocalypse. And the whole thing is all these YouTubers. And so all these YouTubers, like, this was their livelihood. They'd show up to these games, they pay for admission, whatever, and then they make the videos. They wouldn't ask for anything from the event runner. They just and they make all the money that way.
Yeah.
YouTube now says that Airsoft is too close to like real. It's too real, and they can't make money off of it. The real reason is like ads like Coca-Cola and stuff like that. Like they'd be running ads.
So
actually, Des explains this one.
I was going to say, there's actually the way this all started. And it's going to be a quick tangent, but that's okay. The way this all started, I totally get it. It was in Britain, right? It was in Britain, and there was government commercials, like British government commercials running on YouTube, which is fine. And they were playing before terrorist videos. So literally, but what that means is the British government was paying YouTube, who is then paying extremists. So through the middleman, the British government was paying their enemy, was funding their enemy. I can't understand why they were like, we don't want that. So that's how it started. They did that, and then word got out, and Pepsi and all these other people looked real closely into where their videos were playing, and they were like, wait, no, this is an issue. It all started with ads being on extremist videos, and then YouTube was like, okay, we just they say there's 400 hours of video uploaded every minute. So there's no way YouTube can ever check it. For example, if you actually, what's really funny, if for you, those of you watching on YouTube, if you go set your setting on YouTube to like safe, as they call it, like it's safe searching or something like that,
mode.
Our entire channel, it says we have no business.
Yes. Yep.
Because it's airsoft related, and so therefore all of our videos are considered unsafe.
Unsafe for your eyes.
Yeah. So, but I don't blame YouTube. I don't blame the advertiser. It just sucks.
Yes.
Yeah. Because then people can't make. I don't know. It does sound like not even just like it's just everybody, Like.
But actually,
firearm channels like.
Yeah.
I've seen some gun channels get hit really hard that they
forgotten weapons.
But to be fair, is we didn't see the same issue. It didn't hit paintballer people as hard as airsofters. And again, it's returning to our topic today. Is airsoft is just so real that someone can be watching a video and not know that they're watching a game. That they could be watching combat footage for a half.
Yes, and so that was actually one thing before the apocalypse. I remember Leah. I'm friends with her on her personal Facebook page on course, Facebook. And she made this post complaining that one of her videos was actually taken down, or it was like, they didn't allow, they demonetized it back when she could still monetize it, because it was Milsim West game, and because Milsim West people must have reported it, some like super like butthurt parent or something. Yeah, and it was too close to real war. Like they said, like they thought it was real combat. YouTube thought it was real combat, so they demonetized that video. And she was like, "Are you serious? This is an
It's
airsoft
just an
game."
algorithm. It's
Yeah.
not, most of the time it's just an algorithm that goes like, oh, all right.
Like your gunshot.
That was
yeah.
easy.
Well, yeah, the blank fires don't help.
Yes. No. Yeah. And exactly. But that's just the thing. It's like the environment that Milsim West creates is just
sweet.
It's very real. Yeah. And that's one thing that I do like. And this isn't really like on topic of what's true. Like, what is kind of real? Like a real combat center. Like when you're out deployment, when you're on tour, you're out and you have these things like an element of surprise and all these other things that you wouldn't get at an airsoft game. You're there for 1-2 days, and like you're always guns up, gun like ready, like
I came into the conversation really off right now. We went off over here. So you keep going.
But like with Milsim West, they have these like 72-hour games full, like they're like you cannot go back to your car. You cannot go back to your car, and so you actually do have the element of surprise a lot of the time in these games, something that you don't really get. And you talk about what's too real, like that's pretty close to the real deal. I think is awesome, where you can actually like walk up on people who are literally sleeping with their eyeglasses off. Like you watch an Average video, and there's people who were like hanging out, they all had their eye pro off, and Average was, of course, the top comment was like, you shouldn't be shooting people with that eye pro on.
I was gonna say, to be fair, I mean I've seen that.
Yeah, I don't care.
I sit there.
You take off your eye pro, that's your fault.
No, well, see, what I do is when I run across, I play the role of DMR or whatever. I run across people that are eye pro off all the time, and as much as I hate to do it, a lot of times they'll just throw a shot way off to their right, and they'll hear the and you'll see them go, and throw their eye pro on, and then I shoot them. But I won't shoot at somebody who has eye pro off. Don't use that as a strategy, because I'll kick you. But
I mean, at a game like Milsim West, like that is truly
That's an accepted,
like, the most like hardcore.
That's an accepted
you can
kind
get.
of thing.
Like,
at Milsim West, you know that you're not. There's no place that you're necessarily. There's no safe zones or anything really.
Like I'm all for taking like fine. If you're in respawn, like the way they set up that Stag Ops, where there's a minimum engagement circle around respawn, which is further than a pellet can travel. Fine. You want to take off your eye pro when you're at spawn for a minute or two, fine. But don't do it around the field. Like that's just the stupidest goddamn thing ever.
I don't care if it's ruining your immersions, all the fogging, like get over yourself.
Just buy better shit.
That's it.
I'm sorry. Don't go to a 72-hour game. Don't go to a fucking 10-hour game unless you have anti-fog goggles.
Yeah,
like,
that is very true.
Your $20 beater goggles are not going to stand up for 24 hours.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. How much are you willing to spend on your
And I don't care.
What if you don't see for the rest of life because you spent?
And I
you
don't
know
care.
what, $20 goggles are going to get me through everything in life, and then they don't.
And I don't care if your argument is that it doesn't look cool when you have super anti-fog goggles.
Literally the dumbest thing.
This is one of those times. I don't care if you want to look real. Just
you have to
wear freaking good eye pro. But I have a few more things I want to hit. But before that, let's do the product spotlight. Okay. So as we mentioned earlier, this one is a.
I'll let you do this one.
This one is a high FPS.
I'll take over the
build, obviously.
Yeah.
We'll talk to the homies in the chat.
Left and right. Make sure to rip on James. He bought his jack setup from somewhere else.
James Dell, you're making. Oh God.
So this one is. I'm sure you guys have heard.
Wait, question. The most recent comments pop up at the top, right?
Yes. So on Facebook, on the top, on YouTube, it's the bottom. So see how there's that segment there? Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the.
This is a Wolverine bullet.
So yes, this is a Polar Star sniper.
I get that one a lot, but no, this is a Wolverine.
APOC called you guys slackers. I don't know why.
APOC called us slackers?
Yeah.
What do we do now?
I don't know. Probably something.
Actually.
APOC, what? I already registered for Autumn Justice. Come on, man. I'm going.
If an extra recon spot opens up, I call James's because He'll actually roll recon hard.
Oh, I mean, for team affiliation, I just put recon. Like, if I don't get recon, like, I don't really know what I'll do. Like, I really don't want to join. I don't want to join a bunch of randoms. Sorry, randoms.
So, hey, Pop, you're listening. No, but what was it? And he'll actually come this time.
Support local shops, James. Somebody said.
Yeah, always got to support your local shop.
I don't know why.
So, because he just made a comment about
Joe BB James.
Sorry.
So, what was I saying?
Preempted, LOL. Got it.
So yeah,
Take it
I don't know. Shoot it at the speaker.
Okay, so
this is as loud as it'll possibly ever be.
So also, this is a
that's going to be the next thing I talk about.
A cream-filled banana on the end of this gun at 18.
We're going to talk about suppressors next.
You don't know, but so this is at what PSI? What PSI am I at? So this is at 80 PSI, and realistically, you're going to be running this gun. This gun can
go 200, right?
Yep, it can go 60 to 200 PSI.
Okay.
So 60 PSI being like 300 FPS for the 2.5, 200 PSI being like 6 to 700 FPS for the 2.5.
Cool.
So I have this plugged in, and check this out.
And it's not broken.
No, it's not broken.
Pellets would literally be coming out at 300 FPS,
yes.
or 300 or 400 FPS.
Yes, at 80 PSI, I'm sitting at like 370 FPS probably right now with this.
So if you want to build the ultimate silent DMR or sniper build, that's great. Also, the bolt. Nice thing about this is that because you don't need to cock a spring back, that loads a pellet. Just simply, that's all it takes to load a pellet, and you're good. Obviously, there's no pellets in here right now. Super short action. You can be super quiet. This is great for if you want to build a silent thing. How is FPS consistency once you tuned it in and everything?
So once so full disclaimer, this is my rifle. We do bullseye picks because we only pick things that we would run. So this is literally something that I literally run.
Ignore the price tag.
Yes, ignore the price tag because I am selling it because
he has too many iron guns.
I literally have way too many guns. There's nothing wrong with this. Buy it. Anyways, but and so when I first created this gun, and I shot it, like Des says, it's not broken. Literally, I thought it was broken. Like when I was shooting it, I'm like, did you guys hear that? Like, is there something wrong with it? But no, and even Jason was there from the team, and he's like, let me pull this bad jack.
So keep just got a comment. Someone tell Chuckles, my boy.
But either way, yeah, it is. So like, how is FPS consistency?
So FPS consistency, once you get it all dialed in, so I've done quite a bit of upgrades for this to make it even more consistent. So this is without the suppressor.
This is as loud as you'll be.
It's still the same.
And you can't. This doesn't work because it needs to load a pellet in between.
Yeah. So real quick about installation of this. So this is of course, installed. These do not come pre-installed. This is something that we can do here. We do have.
So it's a JG R10, right?
Yes. So it is the VSR10 style. Of course, the best donor body would be the Tokumuri VSR10.
Remember, the Tokumuri has its rubberized finish.
I don't think so.
No, it's not
I
that.
really like the JG.
That's
Yeah, and so the thing is, here I am talking about spending money, but the thing is, a Tokumuri VSR10 was like $300.
That's like what,
120, yes. Yeah. So this was like 120. So I'm like, well, for a gun that I'm literally gonna rip the guts out of, like completely, I'll just do the JG. And so there are a few different things about the JG install that Tokumuri makes a bit easier. But if you have a braid in between your ears, if you're capable of doing this install, then you can.
Well, no, let's put it another way. If James can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah. I feel like as I get further into engineering, you can't really use that one anymore.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, right? We'll see how good my capstone project is. But you can definitely shoot this sideways. I put a ton of different upgrades in this. But for FPS consistency, to finally answer your question, it's 0.5.
Perfect.
Like once you get that BB set in there, I was shooting right on the money every single time.
Charlie says you need a drum mag on that thing.
Yeah, you need a drum mag. One thing that does suck is mags suck on the JGs. Definitely buy the original Tokumuri magazines. The JG magazines suck.
Yep.
I think I said that twice, but it's a very real thing.
Good point.
Yes. A few other things. I didn't Loctite it, so it fell off, but I did drill through the body of it, and I put rails on it. Like you can just do so much to this platform. Like really, I mean, it's just it's very.
We don't have any
nice.
shooting videos this week.
I don't be shooting
not
videos.
exactly the most interesting to watch.
Yeah, just like pink.
Yeah.
So, but either way.
But if I wish I had some GoPro footage, but whenever I use this, I always
Scope cam, bro. Get a scope cam.
That reminds me.
Scope cam would be
viewers,
cool.
what do you think about this? Is what we should do for Auto Justice is we should each run a camera so that we can, when we do our Auto Justice AAR, we can just splice together all our footage and have that playing in the background.
That would be lit. That would be very good.
Also, actually, viewers, I want your opinion on
That
this.
sniper, I've seen it sweatshirt smash. It's approved. Sweatshirt smash approved.
What I want to do for our Thursday, or something to add to our Thursday videos, me and Dan were talking about this the other day. Viewers, let us know if you'd be interested in this. Is I want to do build vlogs. So, for example, where we just build insane things that regular people might not be willing to experiment with, like the quietest possible gun you can possibly make. Well, not necessarily one that actually shoots full auto. This one's kind of just easy.
Easy.
Quiet that shoots semi-auto. You know what I'm saying?
I guess so.
Or like the highest rate of fire gun we can build, AEG.
Yeah, DSG.
Just like build logs of completely baller builds.
Yes.
Or maybe just a completely over the top build overall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe like 2 to 3 parts each. I think that'd be fun. So viewers, let us know if you want us to do that kind of stuff. Me and Dan were discussing ways to add a few more.
Make them a little fresh.
A few more series to add to the Thursday.
that's
And also, one more thing I want to add about the Wolverine bolt. So the cool thing about this is when you pull the trigger, it completes an electrical circuit. It's not like it doesn't have an FCU, which constantly draws power. So do you see this battery? I charged this battery. This is a little Wolverine 500 milliamp hour LiPo. I charged this once when I got this gun 8 months ago.
Right.
And I've left it plugged in.
Right.
And it still shoots. You can truly leave these batteries plugged in for 1 year.
Oh, yeah.
This is a true plug and play sniper rifle.
Oh, yeah. Super simple. I love it.
It's amazing. So if you want to do a custom build, we can absolutely do that. Or if you want one pre-built, you can find this on the wall. But I'm not going to try to sell my own crap any further.
It's because he's been trying for the past 6 months.
Right?
It's just
this is a perfect example is me and James like to try stuff and then we go, well, we won't actually ever use this. Like I got that Crytek LMG upper. I'm probably never going to use it.
I don't play Airsoft now. Like literally, if I played Airsoft more, I'd be using this thing every weekend.
If you go to a game where you might use this, then you're probably going to end up using your PTW.
Yes, well, yeah. Like if I go to a game with my team, they're going to tell me to put that shit away. They'll be like, James, I swear to God, if you bring that sniper on the field, we're going to take your patch away. I'm like,
right.
All right.
Exactly.
Damn. That's intense.
But like if I would ever go to like just a walk-on game,
you should just get a different barrel for it and do a cut down like indoor.
Well, yeah, there's actually some people that have done a straight pull setup where they put springs on this, and they literally just pull back and it just goes.
That's smart.
Just like that.
I do that like a little cut down barrel. And
just.
It'd be fun.
That would be fun.
But before we return back to topic, I do want to plug the Adult Night real quick. So that month, this is coming up on.
I want to say it's the 19th this month.
Stop.
Thank you.
So it's coming up.
What, me?
Yes, you stop. So it's coming up on the 19th this month.
Yes.
Again, this is an 18 plus only gaming on Saturday night. It'll run from 6 p.m. to midnight. We're adding more and more stuff to the field, make it more realistic. You'll notice there's no LEDs on behind me tonight. It's all just the white lighting. And I just added actually a few more things earlier this week, which if you were here gaming this weekend, you would have noticed. That includes, we were trying out sound emanating from a building. The train station now has, if you walk into the train station, you'll just hear like a crowd chatter.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you hear a train go by, a couple train announcements. We're gonna add that to like the truck and Bates Motel and all these things. Just add sound as you walk around the field. And on top of that, the sound system will now play, the actual game timer will play random 21 of 23 different war sounds every 20 to 30 seconds, or longer, depending what the ref set it to, just to, again, give you a more immersive experience.
It's sweet.
Again, try to go for that more realistic environment.
Like, this place is just getting more cool. Like, so we've expanded, like, space-wise, and now we're just focusing, we're really honing in on the experience. On the experience. Yeah. The experience here is just getting, like, I mean, and I know a lot of you guys are probably rolling your eyes like total immersion in a CQB field, but
but it's getting real good. It's getting real good.
And
We're trying to do cool things.
But either way, the first adult night was very successful. People loved it.
People were they had a lot of fun.
If you know anyone who went, ask them what they thought about it. I'm sure they'll say the same thing. But it's very worth coming to. I'm going to try and make it this month. Yeah, it should just be a great time. Don't miss it.
2 weeks, I think.
Yep. And it's what's the cost a game for 6 to midnight?
It's $20. If you ever go, it's only $20 for 6 hours of gaming.
What's it? It's
35 for 11 to 12 a.m. of gaming.
I've got it.
Yeah, like, and there are people that did that. Dude, one dude showed up with a whole cooler full of food.
Oh, hell yeah.
My boy Ben, and he was just here all day. And
That's
he
the way to do it.
yeah, he loved it.
Nice chill. But like I said, for that we turn off the LEDs. We turn the music down so that the ambient sounds are much better, down or off, depending on what the players want. It'll be fun. But anyway, returning back to
You
topic.
can't do cool things with pants on, said you.
That is very true.
You like pajama pants.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that.
So the next thing I do want to talk about, though,
Yes.
in terms of
Why does Apoc start commenting when I don't have a computer?
Because he probably likes
just
me
start
more.
begging for that recomposition because you took too long to sign up.
Maybe he does.
Apoc.
Or elf costumes.
DM me, baby.
Elf costumes, he said. He said, or elf costumes. You can't do cool things. Oh,
Well,
okay.
Saving Santa stuff right there.
Right. So, like I said, the next thing I want to talk about in today's cast, though, is silencers, suppressors, banana peels, whatever you want to call them.
So, if you ever go on forums and you ever hear people referring to a cream-filled banana, that ATF, turn your heads, plug your ears, that is referring to a suppression. Yes, well that wasn't mine. I bought it like that, so get off my back. But that is they're referring to a silencer which has been modified with some form of foam to modify the noise coming out of your gun.
Right. So we're gonna drop the whole BS talk right now. We're not.
It silences your gun.
Yeah. We're not gonna talk about what we own for legal reason, but we're gonna talk about what's out there.
Yes.
So, to start with, let's talk about legality for 1 minute here. Is really the ATF's never going to give you shit for...
Never. I've never heard of someone posting about their foam-filled suppressor and
stop doing that whole line.
Yo, it's my chain, dog.
That's probably
P. Diddy, you know what I'm saying?
You're going to break something.
Well, I'm up, so I'm just going to put this
Only
on.
P. Diddy was that cool.
So, really, the ATF's not going to care unless you get in their face about it and cause issues. That's the only time I ever see them caring. But things lately have kind of advanced in terms of silencers, and I'll touch on that in a moment. But legally, you cannot own a device that screws onto a firearm and lowers its output decibel rating more than 1 decibel, which, for anyone who doesn't know, your ear doesn't interpret, the human body doesn't interpret anything less than 3 decibel changes. So, lowering 1 decibel.
I thought it was 1 decibel.
No, your ear can interpret. You can't lower it more than 1. Your ear doesn't interpret anything less than 3. So you're not going to notice 1 decibel, basically.
Okay.
So obviously a lot of people do the soda bottle trick, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, just look it up. And this is talking about real firearms. So the issue is, I know we're just firing airsoft guns. They're not real firearms. We don't pretend, well, we do pretend they're real firearms, but not really. But they see something that can be realism. They see something that can be threaded onto a barrel, and it reduces the muzzle report, which is a Class 3 item in the United States.
Must be a devil.
You need a Class 3 license, and Rhode Island, you can't even get a Class 3 license. And you don't want to pay $700.
Suppressors are illegal in Rhode Island too.
Yeah, well, that's because you can't get a Class 3 license. But you don't want to pay $85 or whatever the tax fee is for your fucking airsoft.
It's $200 a year.
Yeah, you don't want to pay it.
So to own a suppressor, you have to pay the government $200 a year.
I know, it's silly, isn't it?
So, very silly.
But let's talk about what's happening in airsoft in terms of suppressors and kind of go from there. So one thing you'll notice is that in the past few years, most online
So let's
websites...
put this right here so they can all see it.
Right?
I know you see it like behind your computer.
No, I know. Most online websites will now call them barrel extensions.
Yes.
Or
Yep.
mock suppressors.
Yes.
If you buy it from a US site, most times you'll find they don't have any foam in them. Legally, Airsoft GI and E-Bike and all these big companies don't want to put them in legal harm's way by selling you a foam suppressor.
Well, there's actually some, like, I've gotten like 2 or 3 foam filled from ants before.
Well, I was gonna say, so ants might not need.
So like, so Pennsylvania, I think it was actually a state thing. Like Pennsylvania can get away with selling.
Yeah, all these other guys are out
Yeah,
in
like-
California, so.
Yeah, there's
bad.
like some like real like
Yeah.
nitpicky legality stuff that
So-
I don't even know about.
But either way, we're not trying to tell you where to get your film suppressors here. We're not going to tell you how to build them either, just because we don't need this stream to be taken down by YouTube.
Yes, that's fair.
But either way, I'll talk about what's out there and what might be approaching that too real thing again. I think James knows what I'm talking about with this. So like I said, sometimes in small shops you'll find that you can find these film suppressors, or sometimes even baffled suppressors. I'll admit in the past I used to buy mine from overseas websites and hope that the ATF didn't seize them when I got them.
Yeah, so that's another thing. Like, you can still get these, but
The ATF, it will if they search your package, they'll seize them.
yeah,
No
absolutely.
question asked.
They'll seize
And
them.
once again, they'll probably send you arrested. They might seize everything in your package. I one time had an $1,800 order, and I saw it was under ATF review on the shipping stuff, and I was like, oh no. And then actually I got it with the suppressors, and I was like,
So here's one thing
they're
though.
probably they were my magpul baffled ones, and I was like, okay.
So here's one quick thing that I have seen from Red Wolf when purchasing a PTW, because actually Red Wolf has, because I was talking about that whole PTW thing where the ATF sees it. So you can still try to get that same model over here, but if you get it,
But they say if it seized, it's not their problem.
yes. Well, actually, one thing is you can do this if a custom seizes it. You can have it sent back to Red Wolf, and they will issue a cash refund.
Oh, really?
That is
That's
one
new.
thing. That is new. That is
That's neat.
that's within the last like 6 months of me
Okay.
doing research. So you can have it sent back to Red Wolf, but then they issue a refund, or they can try to reship it. But if they try to reship it, then it's most likely to get seized at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so that's all one thing I really wanted to
Cool.
add. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
think I had
cool.
anything else
But
to add.
like I was saying, so the thing about suppressors lately is it used to be people would get. Mind handing that real quick? What people used
This
to
long
do.
black cylinder
What people.
that white stuff comes out of.
No, what's better is what a barrel condom
Right, do this in the-
does.
Barrel condom.
It keeps white stuff from coming out of your gun.
Yeah, it keeps white stuff from exiting out of that long black shaft.
So what people used
Sorry, I'm
to
gonna kill
do.
myself today.
What people used to do, and I don't know.
Kids' parents are watching this.
Is they used to fill in. They used to just get pipe insulation and put it in the silencers, which I always laughed at. I think James will now realize why, since he's been an engineer, is pipe insulation is a closed cell foam, so it's not able to absorb any air going through the barrel, and therefore it might just dampen the shock wave, but it doesn't actually dampen any noise. So real quick, talking about how a suppressor works is basically air comes into the expanded volume, and a shock wave is produced when you have a lot of air exit the barrel fast, and you have an energy pulse, so you have a compression wave, and that's what you hear, is you hear the pop of air coming out of the barrel. This takes that energy wave, that sound wave.
Redirects
Well,
that.
it doesn't redirect it, it elongates it. So now
It
the
slows
air,
it down.
it slows it down. So now the air, instead of all coming out at once, it's coming out over a longer period of time. Therefore, the volume of air is an integral of that. So if you spread it out, the same volume of air is going to have a lower amplitude.
Yes, yeah.
Engineering talk here. So you need an open cell
The
phone.
terrifying thing is, like, a year ago, I wouldn't have understood what he just said.
Right.
And I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely.
But like I said, science talk aside, so
Yeah,
people.
Dan's falling asleep over there.
So what people do, a lot of times what people do now is open cell foam, which again, the ATF's not going to care about. It's a metal can with foam in it. If you shot it out of a real gun, you'd melt the foam in 2 seconds, and so they really don't care that much. What I've seen some people doing lately, though, is what concerns me in terms of the ATF getting mad, which is using either metal extruders or 3D printers and actually making baffled silencers.
Yeah.
Using the
There's a real issue
principles-
with people doing that, by the way, guys.
Using what do you call it? Science of how a silencer works to make an airsoft silencer. And though it works real well, it starts to really push that legality
Yes.
line
I would be curious to see if you can actually fire. I think we've had this discussion before. PLA has a melting point of a certain temperature.
Right. I mean,
the gas is exiting. That's more science stuff.
Yeah. Well, and then ABS is like 200 degrees Celsius. Or no, sorry, ABS is 250 degrees Celsius soft temperature. So.
And then like
could melt
a 5
auto
explosion.
Yeah. The issue is there's enough cooling time between, especially with proper baffles. So like. I've seen some designs out there, basically.
I've done some research.
But point being is, now you're starting to push that legality line.
Yes, absolutely.
And
yeah.
I would hate to see the ATF.
I even feel kind of uncomfortable like talking about it even.
I would hate for the ATF to be like, wait, this is a thing, and then just coming down hard on all silencers in the airsoft world.
Yeah, right. Like if you have a picture of a suppressor on your gun, they can like. Send you some mail or something.
So actually, that's the funny thing. You'll see a lot of these suppressors nowadays, especially again sold from the big chains. They actually have a tube in it, so you can't even add foam.
Yes, yeah. Like
it's just so annoying, but yes.
Yeah, like with the KEC suppressors,
they
actually
shots gotten screwed over so bad by the ATF.
Yeah. And so they actually have a United States version. For a while, I was able to get the Asia version, but the United States version. It comes with a metal tube that's like glued in there. So, what?
We got a burn on you.
Oh,
burn?
Quick. Okay.
Okay,
you go.
I'm curious. I like burns. I like those.
All right. James, your boy, said, James, shut up. You're not funny. And then Charlie said, James is extremely funny, but looks aren't everything. Saying that's funny.
James is just mad because I called him out. Anyways,
true,
but so you get like the United States version of these suppressors, and they do have a metal tube, and it's like welded in there.
No, it's in there.
It's like welded in there. Like I tried to remove one for my own experiments, and
ruined it.
I basically ruined it. Like they make it very
ruined it.
Soiled it. But yeah, so it's very hard to make the suppressors, but they're just like the whole legality thing. Like it is just so close to the real thing. You can make a replica of the real thing made out of plastic, and the real thing is very illegal in most cases.
And the funny thing is, I've tested this. Is the airsoft silencer that I have, it's a QD silencer to go onto a KAC style, not KAC, the Magpul style 3-prong flash hider.
KAC.
Yeah.
Yes.
It also screws onto a real one, like no problem.
Oh, that's not good.
So like, all right. So again, it's not even, because some people argue if you look online, you will not find a 14 millimeter. Sorry, you will not find a 1/2 inch to 14 millimeter adapter, which is a real steel to airsoft adapter. And the reason being, and again, I'm sure no company wants to have the legality of you put that on and you can throw on any airsoft suppressor.
Yes. This would be bad.
But some of the QD things, as I mentioned, the airsoft replica QD, the airsoft replica flash hiders are so real that the QD things screw onto both. which is probably a bit of a whoops, but whatever.
Yeah.
Either way, this definitely qualifies as something that might be getting a little too real, and especially if anyone starts CNCing airsoft suppressors,
that's game over.
I'm like, nope, that's the line. Like plastic is on the line.
Well, the thing is, I'm sorry, that literally is a line because you can actually make your own suppressors. When I was doing research,
not hard.
Yeah, when I was doing research, just research on suppressors. There's actually a few different kinds of suppressors that you can make. There's the baffled ones. The baffles are actually these individual little pieces that you put in. And then there's the monolithic ones, which are one long piece that's cut out using.
They look so good.
Yes, they look very
nice.
nice.
Mechanical engineering, I look at it.
Yeah, and those are like CNC and all out of the same piece. It's like, it just starts sitting here like, yeah. But that is absolutely a real suppressor.
Like church joints.
If you make it like the real deal, it's the real, it's the real deal.
Like that's where you have the ATF knock on your door and give you a 15-year set minimum.
Yeah, like if you have that in your airsoft gun.
It's literally, and just
that's really good.
To be here, so guys, is a Class 3 violation, which Class 3 weapons are just suppressors.
Full auto firearms.
Full auto firearms or short barreled rifles. which ironic, that has its
Short
own
barrel
irony.
rifles are a little bit different, but yes.
It's class 3 if you have a stock. It's so stupid, but it doesn't matter. It's a thing. It's so stupid. Either way, short barrel rifles, fully automatic, and suppressors are class 3 weapons. A violation of a class 3 violation is a minimum, I believe, minimum 10-year, up to 15 jail time.
And that's federal prison, by the way, guys.
That's a federal law.
That is federal prison. So, like, I know we're joking about, like, stuff like this, but if you think that you're going to try to push it, you could actually go to jail for this stuff.
Exactly.
It's very...
You dinguses, don't do it.
This is me getting real, guys. Like, I really don't want to see airsofters getting jailed and then ruining it for everyone.
Yeah.
So please don't.
So, on that note, what blows my mind, you know what a class 4 weapon is?
Grenades. Explosives.
Grenades and launchable explosives. I really don't understand the whole Reaper thing.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why it's always funny. People are like, wait, it's not illegal to own these?
Exactly.
It's just illegal to ship it? I'm like, actually, yeah.
I don't understand.
It's not like a firework though? Like what's the difference?
Yeah, it's
between,
basically-
explosive
but that's
and
why-
That is a good question.
What's the defining?
That is a good question, actually.
Because, well, it's not, is it
Fireworks have
fragmentation
fuse.
the Reaper? Is it fragmentation or no?
The
Or is
Reaper
it
has
just
the Reaper
fire?
has BBs in it.
Yes.
Well, then
It
that's what makes it
explodes.
not just a firework. It's a launchable fragmentation grenade. I don't know how it's not a class 4 infringement.
That's a good question.
When
that
class
I-
4 infringement is like that next level of jail.
That's like 30. So like, let's just not bring that one up. Like when you're testing it, you're like, like if you're the guy, like you're trying to sell it, you're like, oh hey, by the way, so would this technically be a class 4
Let's
license?
not tell
You
the
can see
agent.
guys like, hang on, and then your whole operation's ruined.
I just don't understand.
Yeah.
But either way,
Don't fuck with the
Play
government.
in with this.
James, don't forget about Alex's question.
What's
So
Alex's
what?
question?
Oh, Alex had a question about the different camouflages. Actually, I'll answer that one real quick because I've done quite a
I
considerable.
think
amount
we
of-
finished up the suppressor talking.
Yes. So multicam is if you're talking about what is by far the best camo.
Well, what's the question? Let's start with that.
The question is what I think it was like what is the best camo? Multicam, AOR 2, N81, and then some other and then
ATEX.
yeah. And so if we're talking purely the best camo, I believe is multicam. At least for an all-purpose
Versatility.
all-purpose camouflage, multicam. According to the website, reduces visibility. From
Yeah,
pulling,
okay, so
reduces-
it's, what do you think works better, multicam, Tropic, AOR2, or M81?
okay.
That's what it is.
Okay, so I'm going to say overall best versatile camo, multicam reduces visibility by 50% in all environments except for snow, which you have a reduced 20%, which is still fantastic. But
I know the environment you're playing in. That's a
but
different
yes,
story.
exactly. But if but it's not like, like these guys that are getting
That's tan multicam. He's asking about green team camo.
Well,
It's like,
those
whoa,
cans tan.
green
multicam Tropic is what I said.
Oh, so
multicam
if
Tropic,
I'm sorry,
AOR2, M81.
If you're doing green, I say ATEX.
ATEX, yes. So
ATEX is
if
good,
you
but
know the environment,
M81
you're
is
gonna be
environment.
playing in, if you know the environment you're going to be playing in, literally any
What?
Tiger Stripe, yeah, right?
Tiger Stripe.
Any outdoor environment,
Just run Tiger Stripe.
at least in this area, ATAC FG, it's the Star Wars.
It just
the
works
Rebel
so
camo.
well. People almost walk on me.
It is a fantastic. I have a set.
I've gotten friendly fired wearing the ATEX FG.
That is an issue. It's very tan.
Yes.
But here's actually this.
That's why Stag, M Sato doesn't allow it except for the ATEX
Right.
session.
So
Yes.
here's something. If you want a general answer to this, the best thing you can do, try and find a eye-level picture of where you're playing. And it's a trick, but it actually works really well. Take an eye-level picture where you're playing in good daylight, right? Bring it over to some kind of photo editor. It could literally be MS Paint. And there's sharpen, and then there's like blur. Just keep blurring the shit out of it until you can't make out the image anymore. You just have the mixes of colors.
Yeah.
And see what camouflage that looks most like.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That
Yeah.
I've actually never done that, but that's a very smart idea.
Because that's what your eyes see.
Yeah. Exactly.
You're saying match the environment.
I would just say
I mean, I
just
have like
just look up pictures like ATAX FG in forest
Yeah.
And you can just, that's what I did.
Yeah.
That's
so
that's what I did. It was like ATAX FG. Oh, they're in the woods. Oh, okay, we're good here.
Yeah, no, I have like six different things.
Whatever what?
Whatever's the most Gucci according to the end.
Yeah.
And multi-game prep. Cool.
Right now, Oscam is in. I think Tiger Stripe is going to be in. I'm predicting.
I think Tiger Stripe should be in.
Tiger Stripe is going to be in.
By game, he means literally fads.
Yeah, no, the fad. I mean, Airsoft is all.
I'd run Tiger Stripe. That'd be swag.
It's all just.
I'll run my ATAX FG.
I'd run.
I'll run the rain cam on.
I remember.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Going back to FG, probably my favorite is we're getting a spring offensive this last year. I was like taking a knee, looking around, and I realized there's a whole squad in front of me. I was trying to radio to my recon guys behind me, like, hey, by the way, here's their positions. And all of a sudden they turned and just started coming towards me. I was like, shit, they see me. I'm like, well, I'm just not going to look at the guys near me. I don't think they give away my gun. They're like staring at me, and they're just slowly moving forward as a squad. But they're not pointing their guns at me or anything. And they're just, I'm like literally out in the open, have a knee, and I'm just pointing my gun at them. And I'm like, did they not see me? I'm so confused.
See, like you would pass the military sniper training.
It's so weird.
Is what they do. Is you talk about realism, right? Like how close you are to the real snipers.
Right.
What they do is you have to crawl across like a field. Yeah, a field or an environment. You have 3 days to do this, I'm sorry, 3 hours to do this, and 3 days is a different one. And then you have to, if at any point, and there's a guy with a spotter, he's on a truck, and
you have to hit a target and get away without them spotting you.
Yes, yeah. So you have to approach them without them spotting you, set up, shoot, and if they still cannot find you after you shooting, then you pass.
Yeah.
And so that's basically like what I imagine.
Wait,
you're
what,
doing.
are you
You
talking
could
about
have
the,
shot one.
Marine
You could have
Scout
shot
snipers?
Yeah, Marine sniper training.
That's legit.
I shot a few of them. They won't call their good.
Yeah, but like if you can shoot them and they still don't know where you are and you're just sitting in the same spot, that's how you know you got.
No, it was funny because again I wasn't even in cover, but I shot a guy. And I understand people don't call hits at game start, so I'm not even that salty about it. Everyone's like doesn't want to be the first guy to die. I shot a guy, and he did the look around and dropped to the ground. He didn't realize he was still laying on the ground and completely bare vision in front of me. And I'm just like, okay. I just kept shooting him. Eventually he called it.
At that point, you just aim for the exposed skin.
Like I said, I'm not even salty because I get it. At game start, like yes, you should call your hits. This is not excusable. But on the same token,
I can see why you'd be upset. Yeah,
like
you're still wrong.
You're still wrong.
I understand you, but you're still wrong.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. I feel like there was something else I wanted to hit. I forgot. Was there any other good questions in chat or anything like that?
Nope. Nothing good.
You've been typing away. So this is what it must feel like whenever
Yeah,
I'm
see how
doing
annoying
it.
it is?
When you're just like sitting there, just like.
Dude,
actually, when Lenny was on, he even pulled up his phone to like watch what I was saying.
Yeah. Yo, people are telling me that they love me.
There you go.
I mean, if you want to run chat, I mean, it's. Yeah, like, I mean, I don't mind alternating. Who's better at chat, Chuckles or Dan? I make fun of a lot of people. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like Dan's less salty.
Chuckles or Dan?
I just say stupid shit. Like we got to talking about kilts, and I was like, would you? I said, would you watch gameplay I recorded if I was wearing a kilt and a bagpipe?
Only if it was from the up kilt point of view.
Oh.
If you put like a GoPro on your ankle. Just see like sweat dripping. All the good stuff.
James says that Dan's better with chat.
So chat, do you want to see the gameplay footage of me and James hopefully running recon?
Would you rather see me in a
Please,
kilt?
Hawk, I'm begging you.
We'll pull some strings.
I'm strangely cold.
I'm gonna buy a tag to kill.
But like I said, probably time to wrap up. We
Yes.
have like 4 minutes left, so.
It's no fun.
Yeah, right? It's another fast stream. But you guys want to talk about the crazy event again coming up? Also,
really.
don't forget about Adult Night coming up on the 19th.
Ooh, Chuckles has more personality. He got that charisma.
Oh no,
Thanks,
19th is the same day as Dorito, whatever they call
No,
Doritos.
That's
next
this
weekend.
Oh, it is? Okay, what's
Yeah,
it?
this weekend.
Oh, the Tough Muggers.
Are you going?
yeah, I'm going
The Tough
in.
Muggers.
Gonna go
That's
do
what it is.
stuff. Are you ever going to be here for one of like any
Shut
of
up!
them ever?
I do many things. I should start my own like vlog channel between like racing and shooting.
Yeah.
And
So this weekend on the lists of very expensive hobbies that I did.
maybe I can fund said expensive hobbies.
Yeah, right. Exactly. If you get a following. But yeah, so coming up, if you're gonna go to Op Dorito this weekend, my boy Tom putting on a game, plugging other people, whatever. But it's gonna be a good one. I sadly won't be able to make it, but I know a lot of my team will be there. So make sure to high five Dan or some of my guys if you see you there.
Yeah.
But bigger and better than that. Actually, I don't know if it'd be better. Yeah, actually, yes, it will be better. Definitely bigger is the August 26th, 25th, and 26th. I really want to make. A lot of people don't know about the Friday night gaming. You can play with Jet, Leah, Greg, all those.
On
other
a note,
people.
please don't show up at noon.
Yes.
Because I will tell you, as it's been every year, we'll probably still be wrapping up construction and stuff.
Yes.
So this week is there camp this week or no camp this week?
No camp.
Nope.
Camp
So we are
From this
we are in
point
full
forward, we are in
construction.
full construction mode in terms of theming and all this kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
people keep coming in for gameplay. Look at our website. Our hours say that for gaming we're only open Friday, Saturday.
My favorite part is people have to look at our website for the hours.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
if hours are open and really right next to it goes gaming hours.
It literally
To
says
be
right
fair,
there.
if
They were
you
like,
go-
I only looked at your. They were
Yeah.
like, I only looked at your open hours. There was like,
You didn't try it all.
dude, your effort is like.
Anyways, but so I believe it's gonna be 4 to 9 for gaming with Celebrity Gaming, and I think price for admission will be $25 on that Friday night, just because it's a special night. It's VIP access. You get to play with the pros, and then of course the 26th. Pre-register for that one. So we're not going to do pre-registration for the Celebrity Gaming Night. It's never been so busy that we've been overwhelmed to the point where people feel like they are waiting in line for too long. But the 26th Saturday is going to be, it's absolutely crazy. The sales will be Friday and Saturday, I should note. Some bigger sales will be on Saturday, but the base sales will be on those 2 days. Or that weekend, I should say.
Oh, we have sales for this month too.
We also have sales for this month, but I'm not going to go over those because I don't remember them. Anyways.
I'm right here. I wouldn't. Oh.
Okay, but so to finish up, just on the top of my head, we have G&G, Elite Force, Titman, Polar Star. Why am I already blanking out? We're going to have Augmented Reality is going to be there. What? Yes, the National Guard will be there with a Rockwell, maybe even a couple APCs and tanks and other cool things. There's a ton of other companies. I have to check my email. Like I said, I was out for a week. I just kept getting the notifications on my phone. I'm like, I got a lot of work.
Airsoft C3 hop-up app.
Yep, Airsoft C3, the hop-up ambassadors from both Airsoft C3 and hop-up will be there. And hopefully Fry, I don't know if you're still watching, but hopefully the original Airsoft ambassador will be there. If you watched last week's podcast, he was on with us. He's one of our very good friends.
All the people were on with us last week.
Yeah, we had a full house.
That was a
Who's
party.
on last week? That's right. Or not last week, but last
That
night.
was a fiesta.
Yes, it was a fiesta. So it's gonna be crazy. Definitely make sure to pre-register for it. I really can't tell you how great it's gonna be because every time we put it on, like just from being behind the scenes, like trust me, it's a lot more fun to be a part of it. Being a working member of it, it always kind of sucks to watch it all go by and I can't be a part of the real fun. But it is so much fun to put it on, to watch you guys all have fun, and the more the merrier. Really, don't be afraid to show up. And don't be afraid that it's going to be too busy, because the more people that show up, the more fun. I've never seen people be like, it's too crowded, I want to leave. I've never heard that. It's always a great time. Definitely show up. Pre-register if you're going to play. If you want to be the first people to play on the field when we do it, pre-register for that. I'm kind of running out of things to say.
Well, I was going to talk about next week's topic. So we're probably going to, next week's topic, we're going to do a bit of AAR, probably with these guys about, you both are going to the op, right?
Yes.
So we're going to talk, you guys are going to give a little bit of AAR about that. You're free next week, right?
Oh wait, no, I won't be able to.
Damn.
I'll be here. I'm sorry. It's
Find a
it's
substitute.
6 months with my girlfriend.
Maybe 6 months, baby.
So, see if anyone else from your team wants to join. But as I was saying, and then we're also, I think, going to spend some time talking about some of the changes you can expect for the August event in terms of what we're updating on the field. I think we talked a good amount about that.
Yes.
Probably do some.
We've already got it all planned
We'll
out.
do some pre-roll, so they can hear the train station and hear the sound effects.
Yes.
see what to expect.
This will be good.
It'll be good.
It'll be
It'll
very
be
good.
real good. But I think with that, we're gonna wrap things up. We're already a minute or two over. So thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, guys.
Thanks for joining. My name is Dave.
Hopefully, like I said, come in this weekend. Let me know what you think about the sounds. The sounds are kind of my own personal effort, and I really want to see what you guys think about them.
So they're good. Actually, you don't even need to stop by since you know Des did it.
Also, let us know what we think about the lighting. Hopefully, me and James will be able to finish off the lighting this week with any luck. So we'll be able to have all the new lighting in. We'll have the new sounds in. Hopefully, we'll be adding more buildings with sound soon. Like I said, we're starting the changes already, and every weekend you're going to see improvements.
It has begun.
Yeah, basically the crazy.
Crunch time.
Is it bad that I'm a little bit more excited for this year's event than I was for last year's event?
It's because your nails are rough.
I think so. I think it's because like the effects like really dictate the way that I play.
Right.
So I think that's why I'm more excited, even though I should have been more excited for more space. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I feel like
I was hyped up for last year.
Well, more space,
so
so
this
more to
year.
manage. This year, it's
Yeah, right,
it's
more to
not more to
manage.
manage. It's just more to experience.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
like I said, tune in next week.
Experience,
We'll have lots
man.
to talk about, and hopefully, at some point, we'll have to ask him. I want to get Colville on before I look Justice.
Yes, I would love to have my boy Kobo on.
I really
or
so.
Gordon. That way I can beat him up live about me being on Recon. Like,
Oh, you probably want to talk to.
that's not a him call
That's-
thing.
that's right. Yeah, that's not a him
Yeah,
call.
yeah.
yeah.
Either way,
Yeah, I would love to have APOC on.
I know seriously for sure. All right, but for that,
We're leaving now.
Bye. I need to find my mouse. There it is.
Bye guys, love ya.